So this is Saturday morning, the 30th of June, getting ready next week for 4th of July. But I had some time, so what I did is I set up my homework log for Unit 1. And I finished Unit 1 today, and this is the self-assessment. Now, the self-assessment differs from homework in that you don't get to see the answer after you put in your answer. You don't get to see if it's right or wrong until the end. And if you had something wrong, it'd be like a little X instead of a red X instead of a green check. Now, the nice thing about it is that you can review the test. If I click here, you can go through all of the answers, and you have a drop-down menu, and you could see which ones you had wrong, and then, take note of that, because you want this to be a learning experience, as if it were your test. You're going to get a paper test. But this counts towards your homework grade, and if we close this, and we go to what we see here now. Lesson 1.1, I have a score. Lesson 1.2, 1.3, and then the media, which is just a few questions. And I'm kind of pleased with myself. Of course, I'm the teacher. I know all of this, or should know all, but you can make an error. I know I made an error when I put in the homework, by rounding it to 3,000 places there, or 3 decimal places, and they wanted to the thousands rounded. So we have to be careful of things like that. And another screen I get to see is the results. And here we see the scores, but it also will let me view the time you spent doing them. So starting here with Unit 1, I spent 27 minutes. 1.2, 21, 1.3, 27. The media, again, there were only 5 questions, just took me 2 minutes. 1.4, 36 minutes. And then this media was a little longer, 6 questions, took me 4 minutes. And the time I spent on the self-assessment was 30 minutes. Now, I'm assuming that for most of you, if not all, you're going to spend more time on this than I did. Actually, most of the time I spent was writing things up in my homework log to make it neat and orderly. And again, I'll show you some examples of that in class. But, your homework log is worth 5 points, 5 percentage points of your end-of-term grade. Your lecture log is another 5 points. So notebooks count 10%. So you might say, well, I don't need to write it out. Well, again, you'd be losing some of those 5 points or 5 percentage points of your end-of-term grade by not having a good homework log. And in education, we seem to think that writing it down in a neat and orderly way helps you to focus on what you're doing. Okay, we'll keep this one under 5 minutes. And again, anytime you have a question, be sure to email me or ask me in class. As an addendum to what we just did, I did take some pictures of the homework log. This is what our homework log will look like. We put this label on it. You're going to put your name, the section that you're in, and when you open it up to the first page there, you see it looks like this on the left. This will be the rubric, and these will be the days that I'm checking your work. Now, I'm not looking to see if you have the right or wrong answers, because I can't take that amount of time, but I'm looking to see, do you have the 20 examples? And you can get up to 0 or 1 or 2 or 3, and then having everything up to date, you would get a 5. And I'm giving myself a 5 here because I have everything up to date. So this is what I suggest you do on that first page. Math 102, Nature of Mathematics, Lesson 1.1, Real Numbers. And then you list number 1, write it out, number 2, write it out, put the answers there. Now, if when you're doing the homework you get a wrong answer, correct it so that what is reflected in this booklet is the correct answer. And you can repeat the homework as often as needed to get the correct answer. So you get 100% on it. That works out very well. So I changed cameras here a little bit. There's page 2 and 3 and 4. Then we went on to section 1.2. And as I mentioned, I told you how many minutes I spent doing this. And most of the time it takes writing. The calculation for me was rather easy. And then lesson 1.3. Now, after 1.3, they give what they call a little media check, which are usually the short items here. This one is only 5, and if you recall, it only took me 2 minutes. Now, lesson 1.4 took a little longer. There was some, this one down here, number 9, Heron's formula, took me a while. 36 minutes. And when I finished that, I went on to do the media check, 1.4 through 1.5. That took 4 minutes. Now, you'll notice in some of these that we're going to see on the next one here, we finished that up here. Let's go back one here. There we go. The self-assessment. Now, there were some charts in there. I don't expect you to copy the charts down unless you wanted to. So I just put the chart, and then the answer is 12 months. But this way, if you have an incorrect answer on your self-assessment, then you can go back and, you see the work, or you put a question mark by something and you bring it into lab. Okay, well, that'll wrap this up here. And hopefully it's helpful to you.